Welcome back to the Broto Fantasy Football Podcast presented by BrotoFantasy.com. I'm your host, Tim Petrop, with my brothers, the only two twins that give you double that fantasy goodness, Michael and Jason Petrop. I'm out here in my floral shirt, feeling all Floridian-ish.
I got a orange shirt on, striped. Floridian?
Yeah, because we're going to Jacksonville, Florida, for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So let's start with the Jacksonville coaching outlook, or the offensive outlook, where we take a look at the coaches and how that's going to affect the offense. Their head coach, Doug Marrone, classic, like, hey, young chap, let's smoke some cigars and chew some tobacco. Type of guy. Offensive coordinator is John DeFilippo, who got fired by the Vikings last year because Mike Zimmer thought his offense was a little too pass heavy. The Vikings went on an absolute tear when he left, although they played really shitty competition. Questionable hire, especially with the personnel that he has, but who knows? John DeFilippo on the way over to Jacksonville. So with John DeFilippo's offense, in quotations, let's see how everything's going to do. We'll start with the quarterback position. The man himself, the Philly net legend, Nick Foles. We know he could do it in the postseason, but can he do it in the regular season? For me, unless you have a super flex or two QBs, you're not drafting him, you're not even thinking about it. But if you have belief in him and his weapons, he throws a catchable deep ball.
There's no way he's a QB1 this year.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way.
Yeah, no, certainly not. I think he's a low-end QB2. Low-end. Stress low-end.
So let's go to those running backs then, because that's where you're going to find the fantasy value on this team. Leonard Fournette, injury problems again last season, 3.7 yards per carry in his career. Guys, is this his last chance?
Leonard Fournette is a conundrum, man. It's all paradoxes inside of him. He's always injured, but his ADP is moving down to show that, unlike Dalvin Cook. He always sees volume, but he's inefficient. He gets a lot of looks, but it's in a boring Jags offense. There's always things counteracting each other when it comes to Leonard Fournette. There were rumors they were going to pass last season, but he was a first-round pick not too long ago. So I don't think... I mean, maybe this will be his last chance. I don't know, but he needs to stay healthy first.
How low in drafts before he presents a good value?
I mean, word is he's already hurt in camp, too. So, I mean...
As of this taping,
yeah, early on in camp. But that's not a good sign. This guy's already... going through injuries, and he's supposed to be a workhorse back, and this happens to him every single year. He had 6 touchdowns in 8 games last year. He was on pace. No, not even. Yeah, he was on pace for 44 catches, more than what we'd ever seen from him. So there is upside here. If you remember last year, he was being drafted with Dalvin Cook at the turn, this first and second round turn. Yeah, if you take Leonard Fournette in the 3rd round, you better be drafting Raquel Armstead in like the 11th.
Yo, don't be giving away my guy for later in the show. Let's talk about...
We're talking about running backs.
That's true.
I liked Fournette as a 3rd-round pick a little earlier in the offseason. I feel like he's a better 4th-round pick now.
Yeah, we were doing a mock draft.
Back in 3rd round is okay.
Check out the podcast, the previous episodes, to check out that mock draft. And Jason at one point went, is Leonard Fournette still here? And my eyes went, what? Jason, huh?
We don't hate players. We hate ADP.
Alfred Blue was a serviceable number 2 for the past few years, but unlikely to have any type of...
They have Alfred Blue, Thomas Rawls, and Benny Cunningham.
Benny Cunningham showed some pass catching ability in the past. TJ Yeldon was kind of usable in that pass catching.
Corey Grant was their best running back last year. He's not even on the team anymore.
I mean, Corey Grant's on the Packers.
They drafted Raquel Armstead in the 5th round.
6th round.
Fast. 5th.
Out of Texas A&M.
5th.
Showdown.
5th round, 2nd pick. He's fast. He's a brute back. He doesn't catch passes, which obviously not good.
Breaks a lot of tackles.
But breaks a lot of tackles.
Scouts love him as well. Scouts say he can be a starter in the NFL.
But he was also a very good pass protector in college.
Hey, Scout.
There you
think
go.
you're
going to call people Scout when you're an old
pass protection? Definitely no.
Pass protection is big for rookie running backs.
Let's go to the outside and the wide receivers. Dede Westbrook led the team in catches last year.
King Dede.
He led in catches. He led in yards. He led in TDs. He was the king, Dede last year. He lined up in the slot 77% of the time in an 8-game sample size. In that same 8-game sample size, which is Matt Harmon's reception perception, he faced a contested catch rate of 27% of his targets. That's super high. So he's not getting much separation, but he converted 70% of those catches, so not too bad. Finished as a wide receiver 3 in a terrible offense. What do you see for Dede?
Dede put up 705 last season, kind of separating himself from the pack of Jacksonville receivers. And it was because he was in the slot. The slot position is why we liked Keelan Cole going into last season, but he just ended up losing that spot to Dede Westbrook, which is he ended up basically being what we expected Keelan Cole to be. 8 games last season, exactly half. He scored double-digit points, so he wasn't super consistent, but he was consistent enough to end as an overall wide receiver 3. He has Nick Foles now, obviously an upgrade from Blake Bortles. He's 26, I believe, 25, 26, another year older, another year more seasoned year. I mean, going into his 3rd season. I like Dede a lot at his ADP. He's going outside the top 36, I think around wide receiver 40 right now. 9th round. If you get Dede Westbrook in the 9th, 10th round, perfectly fine with that.
Jason?
Blake Bortles was 30th in true throw value last year. Nick Foles was 27th. So it's not that much of an upgrade. If you're going to take a shot on a guy, it's Dede Westbrook.
It is an upgrade, though.
I'm not giving up on Keelan Cole just yet. I'm not going to draft him. I'll put him on the watch list, though. I think he's a talented player, and he just needs to be given the opportunity. If he becomes the number 1 on the outside there, and Nick Foles,
Give it up.
that becomes his deep target.
Give it up.
Yo, fun fact. 2 years ago, do you know who led the league in yards per reception? Keelan Cole did. So
you know who I'm not
he's
giving up
been
on,
there.
guys? It's Marqise Lee.
That's a guy who I was
That's who I'm
going to
not
ask you
giving up
about.
on. He's free in drafts.
Missed last season with a torn ACL, that's why.
Free in drafts. In 2017, in 13 games, he had 700 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. Basically, Dede Westbrook last year in 3 less games. He was a wide receiver 3 flex play consistently during that time. At the end of 2016, he was basically the same. Now he's healthy. If he could build a nice rapport with Nick Foles, and he ends up being the Jacksonville wide receiver 1 again, Dede is obviously the guy you should take first. But Marqise Lee in like a 20th round when he's not even like, he's just being completely overlooked by everyone right now.
With Lee is he still might not be healthy for week 1.
It's true.
But if it's a deep league, don't draft him in like if you have a 16 team. If it's like a 16 roster, like the bench of only 4. But if it's like 20 rounds, last pick, I'm perfectly okay with drafting Marqise Lee. I'm keeping an eye on him going into the season.
I can see the Jaguars being one of those teams that has a player that no one is talking about that ends up being good, and 2 of those players that jump off the screen, Terrell Pryor and DJ Chark.
Chark.
Yeah, both of those wide receivers. Do you guys think that they have a chance to... Terrell Pryor less than DJ Chark. Let's talk about DJ Chark more. Going into his 2nd season out of LSU, which is receiver U, 6'4", super athletic. Do you
Fast.
Fast. Yeah. Do you think DJ Chark does anything this year?
He's my
He could be like the Alshon Jeffrey for Nick Foles.
he's my injury away. If Lee or Westbrook go down and Chark needs to step up, he could have an impact. I don't think it doesn't look like he's going to be impactful to start. He's still young, he's still raw, but if he's given a shot and Nick Foles builds a rapport with him, like you said, like with Alshon Jeffrey type rapport, could end up being a decent flex play.
I'm not putting my marbles in a Jaguars and Nick Foles basket.
Facts.
For someone who's
That's why he's my injury away.
3rd on a depth
I'm
chart
not drafting DJ
at
Chark.
best.
So you saw Foles loved using Zach Ertz, so let's go over to the tight ends. Jeff Swaim added in the offseason. James...
O'Shawn Hennessy, come on.
Come on, Michael, that's your thing. James O'Shaughnessy, or O'Shawn Hennessy. Shout out to Key and Peele. Those are the 2 guys where their names are out there, but I don't see either of them. I don't know. Maybe Jeff Swaim, maybe, I don't know.
So, we were in the Scott Fish Bowl, right? You guys know that by now. Jeff Swaim became one of those guys that you got in like the 19th round, and people were like, good pick with Swaim there, man. And it just gets me so mad.
I like the asshole voice.
You're really going to trust Jeff Swaim,
analysts.
a Jacksonville tight end on a run-first team
I mean, Nick
with
Foles threw to Zach Ertz a lot.
average at best quarterback?
Don't be that guy.
Because he was their wide receiver 1. You don't get a Zach Ertz on every team.
That's facts. One thing you do get on every team is injuries. So who is your 1 injury away player? Michael, you already gave yours away. So let's start
DJ
with yours.
Chark. Yeah, 6'3", super fast.
Pizza party?
Jason, who's your
No
one
one.
injury away? No one?
No.
Come on.
He went Houston Texans on me.
If
Come
it's
on.
Raquel Armstead, then it's no one. Like Michael said Armstead, so it's no one.
I said Chark. But Armstead,
I said
Armstead is the obvious choice.
I think it's Raquel Armstead because he fits into what Leonard Fournette does the best.
I'm going to go Keelan Cole.
All right.
Not giving up hope just
Jason, where can they find you to yell at you about your crappy takes on Keelan Cole?
Jason Petrop.
Michael?
Mike _ Petrop.
You can find me on all social media outlets at Tim Petrop, but only if you're feeling real frisky. Check us out, BrotoFantasy.com, YouTube.com / veteran. No, I mean
Broto Fantasy.
/ Broto Fantasy.
Hey, go fuck yourself, guy.
BrotoFantasy.com everywhere. Patreon.com / Broto Fantasy. We will see you tomorrow with the Titans.
Teton, hashtag Greek up.
I went Greek on everyone there. See ya.
Later.